So today we will learn about the heart sounds briefly. How the heart sounds are produced. The first heart sound is S1. Note one thing that sounds are only produced during the closure of valves. In a healthy heart. Okay, so the S1 is produced when the ventricles start contracting or at the time of systole the pressure in the ventricle increases, then the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve got closed and produced the sound S1. So S1 is produced by the closure of mitral valve and tricuspid valve. Okay, because when the ventricles contract, the pressure in ventricles increases and this pressure leads to closure of the valves and it produces the sound S1. Okay, now the S2 is produced similarly when the ventricle ejection completes, the pressure in the aorta is about 80 and the pressure in ventricle declines down from 120 to 80, and when the pressure decreases more like 70 mm, then the pressure inside the aorta exerts the pressure on the valves, and to avoid the blood entry into the ventricle from the aorta, the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve. Similarly, the pulmonary valve exerts the blood present in the pulmonary arteries exert pressure on the or start coming inside the ventricles, so the pulmonary valves got closed. Okay, and they produce the sound S2. So the S2 is produced by the closure of pulmonary valve and aortic valve. Okay, now when the S3 is produced, S3 is produced whenever there is, mainly it is produced in the athletes when the blood demand is high in the body. So when the mitral valve and tricuspid valve opens, the blood which is filled inside the atria suddenly drains into the or rapidly drains into the ventricles, and when the blood falls in the ventricle, it produces the S3 sound. Okay, so it's worth repeating how the S3 is produced. Whenever there is increase in demand of the blood or in any cardiovascular activity, the blood from the atria directly or rapidly fall into the ventricles, it produces the S3 sound. Okay, now S3 is produced by the rapid ventricular filling, which is most commonly seen in athletes. Okay, how the S4 is produced? Whenever there is stiffened ventricle, okay, and the atria has to contract against a stiffened ventricle. When the ventricle is stiffened, then it didn't expand, it will not expand outward. Okay, so the atria has to exert more pressure, and it produces the S4 sound. Okay, so how the S4 is produced? It is a pathological sound which is produced against a stiffened ventricle. Okay, thank you guys.